When news, from politics to police stories, catastrophes to celebrities, happens in Los Angeles, millions of people learn about it from Pete Demetrio. For more than 30 years, Pete's been on the street and live on the scene, providing the facts with unparalleled detail and accuracy, and without a sense of bias or political correctness. The recipient of over 22 Golden Mike Awards, the Edward R. Murrow Award for his coverage of the 1992 Los Angeles riots, the Sigma Delta Chi Journalist of the Year Award in 1998, an Outstanding Contributor Award from the Associated Press Radio Network, and an honorary lifetime membership in the Los Angeles Police Protective League. Pete can truly say, been there, done that, about what's been happening in our world over the past 40 years. So with that, and with his own unique perspective, let me introduce our friend and our classmate, Pete Demetrio.
I love that song. I never was the DJ. I was on the other side of the glass doing the news. Eileen Freeman Dennis just asked me a few seconds ago. She says, 40 years. 40 years. How did it happen? How did it go so fast? And I smiled and I said, every day. It's those moments in history, those moments in time when the clock stops and you know where you were or what was happening. It's 2014. How do we get here? Whose world is this? You're going to have to pardon my confusion a little bit. At times, like the comment that Eileen made, it just seems to blur. I do remember a few things. In 1974, there were 213 million of us. Gasoline at 52 cents a gallon. And uncomfortable though the fact that strangers out of the desert, half the world away, had the power to affect our way of life, bring our transportation and society to a halt, simply by turning off the taps of the oil. We had 3 networks and a little PBS. Cable was something that held up a telephone pole. We saw The Godfather Part 2, The Sting, Chinatown, Blazing Saddles, and we were centurions. Leaders of the century, so we thought, ready for college, jobs, families, a future uncertain but rushing toward us at a greater speed than we could even imagine then. Fast forward. It's now 2014. There are 318 million of us. Our average income is $53,000. The price of gas is now $3.70 a gallon. Or if you live in the People's Republic of California, $4.30. We're downsizing and prioritizing our transportation, but mass transit still hasn't met the needs of any or even most of the 4 million who now live in Los Angeles. A first-class stamp is 49 cents, and even with that price hike, the post office is on the verge of going the way of the dinosaur. We have 38 million people in this state, in this country, which increasingly seems to be divided into 2 Californias. The first world high-tech, high-income portion in a strip 60 miles from west to east that stretches from San Diego to a little farther north of Santa Rosa. And to the concern of many, what I see every day, a second and a third world equivalent in the rest of the Golden State, which is becoming tarnished by economic, educational, even social stagnation and regression. 80% of us are on the internet every day. Sometimes it seems every minute, as we email, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google+, Facebook, or Twitter our way through our daily lives in an effort to keep abreast with news, information, economics, and the lives of our coworkers, friends, family. And despite all that communication, all that power, all the apps packed into that phone on your hip, there's a nagging concern that somehow we're falling behind some way, and we're unsettled by it. 15 years of wars are over, or at least not as obvious, but it's just as it was 40 years ago. We're coming to grips again with the problems of those who served multiple tours and came back to an economy less stable, jobs fewer, benefits lower, and competition increased as people and families struggled to make ends meet, and minds tried to get right with a world that was different from the one they left. Music is old and new. The rockers of our generation have gray hair. A lot of it. The younger crew, like James Blunt, Beyonce, Katy Perry, Robin Thicke, Usher, Carol, Taylor Swift, and Adele have transformed radios, CDs, MP3s, and MTV. They've transcended it. Now they're on your smartphone through channels and apps that you program. Who needs a radio station anymore? It's sitting on your hip, courtesy of Samsung or Apple. That's right. Political divisions are just as strong as they were, with a new generation, or in some cases older politicians, who seem to be immortal, proclaiming themselves the champions of the rights of a new majority, which is actually the same old thing, a coalition of pluralities of ethnic and economic populations. But to our dismay and to their embarrassment, though they have no shame, they had degenerated into a gridlocked, inefficient, polarized screaming match 3,000 miles away, passing laws without thought, writing checks on non-existent revenues, and piling up debt faster than anyone dreamed possible, hoping they will see hope and change or lean forward before somebody recognizes there is no there, and the whole damn thing collapses, leaving someone, including us, to either pick up the check or the pieces or both. We're looking at the prospect, even as we feel our aches and pains every day, of extended life, of gene therapy, of stem cell research, the cloning of parts to improve our lengthened existence, yet we're increasingly unsure about the issues of life that make life living or life worth living. Notions of what a family is, what a marriage is, for better or worse, and the public discourse in the courts are all too often taking an increasing role in setting the rules and the agenda. Common sense somehow seems to be a dying breed. We wonder where the jobs went, where the pensions went, who stole my cheese, and where I'll go if and when I sell my home, and can I afford to live the next 30, 40, 50 years. I don't despair. I don't. I embrace the future. We have seen in this room the tide rise and fall several times. We've seen economic collapses come and go. We've seen panics. We've seen prosperity. We've watched the culture change for worse and for better, and recognize that in the end, even if a reset button is pushed on our culture, our economy, or both, we in this room still retain a core of the world's strength, its knowledge. We can be the people who will still help steer this world into a much brighter age. For now, we've acquired that most incredible gift of all, the one that lasts, the one that works, the one that people come to and fall back upon when all else fails. Life experience. With a few gray hairs on our heads, we can smile at the statements of those around us, especially those much younger, and we can say either aloud or quietly in our minds, I remember when I thought the way you do, and thought I'd never be like them, those people. You'd be surprised at what 40 years could do to you, what it gives to you as a perspective. In this room, I see magic. I see visionaries. I see people who have taken one step away from a career and are looking forward to the next. The word retirement does not appear on their lips because you cannot retire from life, from being, from affecting people. I am proud of my classmates. I am proud of my generation. I am not ready to shuffle off into the dark of the night. I still have stories to tell. I still want to report on the magic of your lives. And I'll see you on the 50th, the 60th, and a little bit of luck, boss, maybe for some of us our 70th, where somebody will be sitting there and opening up a bottle of very, very old cognac and toasting all of those who made 1974 and all the years after a wonderful time. Thanks.
entire year of 1974, 6 weeks, #1 on the charts, and obviously the most fitting for this. Unfortunately, this becomes more and more difficult every time we come together because unfortunately the list grows longer and longer. Although Bob Buxbaum was taken off that list tonight. He's alive and well and living in Boston. That sounds good. Okay, let's take Debbie Munoz off that list too. As I was going to say, the reunion committee does extensive research with an assist on our end from Deborah Crawford Shaffrich, but nobody professes to be perfect. So as I read these names, if anyone knows of any errors, and now I'm removing 2, please don't hesitate to interrupt. Nothing would make me happier than to be wrong and find out someone on this list could be removed. Having said that, we pay tribute to these fellow centurions. Robert Bain, Rudy Peraza, Jolene Barron, Mark Blazell, Francis Bly, Joseph Braid, Bradley Bullard, Sarah Berkdahl, Tammy Burleson, George Cleone, Jill Coles, Robert Davis, Brian DeBrushkin, Teresa Draper, Keith Dunitz, David Eigel, Lori English, Lorraine Fellini, Craig Firestein, Oralia Frere, Daniel Frank, Kim Gillespie, Leslie Glasspool, Robert Grimeau, Blake Garunian, Cheryl Handy, Deborah Headley, Randall Hopkins, Wayne Hubbard, Robert Hunt, Lori Janofsky, Candace Jones, Terry Jones, Scott Conkle, Richard Cruz, Alan LaRoe, Juliette Leseg, Deborah Lynn, scratch Deborah Munoz. Thank you. Carmelo Mercado, Victor Murphy, Cindy Oppenheimer, Terry Pope, Mary Porcello, Gina Reef, Elaine Romano, Steve Rubin, Ken Shields Jr., Mike Spiegel, Darlene Story, Chuck Testa, Perry Warner, and Stephen Weinstein. Dana? I'm sorry. Thank you. I'd rather be taking them off than adding them, but a couple of points on some future activities. The Van Nuys High School Centennial is coming up the weekend of October 17th. I believe it's starting with the homecoming game on Friday, October 17th. If you're around in town and interested, it should be an interesting weekend. There hasn't been a whole lot of organization yet. The school's dealing with whatever it deals with, and I guess they'll get around to it, but that isn't the specific date for the Centennial. And for those who don't know, tomorrow from 11 o'clock until 5 o'clock, we have access to the quad at Van Nuys High School for a bring your own everything picnic. Bring yourselves, bring your food, bring your kids, bring your grandchildren. I'm supposed to say don't bring alcohol, don't bring anything you can smoke. Now I said it. And come kick back on the quad. I haven't been given a clear answer as to parking yet. I would say check the faculty and student parking lots. If they're open, park there. If not, park on the street. But I think the main entrance to the main building will be open. And we'll have a chance to just kind of kick back and spend some time reminiscing and doing whatever on the quad at Van Nuys High School. So I'm hoping we'll get a good turnout tomorrow. It should be a lot of fun. I'll be back with some door prizes later. And yes, David.
May I say something? something.
Yes.
Recognized a lot of people, but I think everyone should recognize that you have done a great job organizing them.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I have to thank and blame Tracy Kidd Kern for that, because back at the tenure when we did a lot of stuff together, she bailed on me. Then I love her to death. And I also better darn well thank my wife for putting up with it all. Thank you, that was very thoughtful. We'll give out some door prizes after dessert. Enjoy.